So Jen here, how's everyone doing? I hope everyone had a lovely Christmas. And if you're off for the week in between Christmas and New Year, I hope you're having a great break. I am showing an old video. I did this way back in November, but I realized I have to finish it. So this is my Traveler's Notebook, and I did the 30 Days of Lists. So this is days 8 through 14. And then right after that I have the rest of the notebook as well. So you'll be able to see the whole thing finished. So on this day, let's see here, the prompt was in my bag. So you can see me checking my purse. So I had some mittens, I have a book called The House of Sand and Fog, I have some face cream, some allergy meds, CDs with old family photos on them, my wallet, I have fortune cookies, lip gloss, pens, random bits of paper, a doily, I don't know why I had a doily, gum, a deck of cards, my puppy's collar that I still carry around with me everywhere I go, and a lot more stuff, but I ran out of room, so that's what I wrote. And then moving on to the next day, this one, the prompt was, where did I write it? Oh, there we go, on the side. Favorite websites and blogs. So the paper that I chose, that big white piece, it has sort of typewriter type on it, and it says things like life is a grand adventure, and for beautiful eyes to look at, be glad of life because it gives you, and then it drops off. I don't know what it says after that, but just all kinds of little things like that. And I thought it's sort of more blog-like. And then I added some labels and that border along the side, and I'm just going to list my favorite things in those two labels. So what I wrote down is, I'm kind of boring when it comes to online. I wrote YouTube, Goodreads, Facebook, Amazon, Pinterest, and then I said in the white label, I don't read any blogs consistently, but read them as they catch my eye. I love scrapbooking blogs and funny parenting blogs. And then I moved on to the other side. So I loved the way that paper had this sort of corrugated cardboard. So I just tore along the edge of that to make it look a little more real, to give it some texture too. And then that little die cut says, she knew she was living the greatest life on earth. And now I'm just going to put some stamps around. This is just some stars. I'll do a border all the way around. Just wanted to protect the other page there from the stars because it was a little bit longer. Oh, and I dropped my ink pad, so I'll have to find a way to cover that up. And I'll just keep going around. I'm mostly just doing first generation stamping, but every once in a while I do a second generation. And there we go. And now I have to figure out how to cover that up. So I end up going with this washi tape. So the gold one says make it happen, and then a little bit of this blue one here. And I'm just going to leave it like that. I know it looks kind of wonky stuck in the middle there, but that's okay. It works. And then this prompt was on my wish list, and I kind of sped through it because I don't know, I have a hard time with that kind of thing. So what I did end up putting was books, because there's never enough books in the world, a Canon selfie or Epson PictureMate, better filming equipment, my own scrap room / library, That would be sort of my ultimate wish. And then I move on to the next page. So for this one, I decided just to use up a bunch of the washi, and I'm just going to put strips all the way down the center. And I'm just trying to alternate all the colors. Some of the gold ones have a lot of white, so I want to make sure that they're kind of stuck in between some of the more dark colors like that blue. And I won't fill up the whole page, but I kind of do most of that center. And then I'm just going to pick the paper that I want to go in the middle that I'm going to write on. And I go with this one mostly just because it has a lot of white space, so it's easier to write. But now I have to move some of those borders a little bit just so that everything peeks out on the edges the way I want it. I realize I end up covering pretty much all of that washi tape, but that's okay. Some of them I'll extend out and move around, and most of it I just kind of leave though. The washi comes up really easily off of this craft paper, so I hope that it's actually going to stick down and stay there for a while and not start to peel up. And then here I'm just going to do a banner at the bottom, and this is where I will write the prompt for this day, which is date night ideas. So what I chose was cooking lessons, dance lessons, going to a bookstore, record store to do some shopping, a road trip and picnic. We have a place in the city by us called Pip Board Game Cafe. So it's basically just a cafe. You can get food, and I think they actually have a liquor license, so you might be able to get booze too. And then you can play board games. Stage West, which is a theater company or a concert, and the Locked Room. And for this next one, I'm going to try and use up some of these punched out die cuts that came in a paper pack. So I picked one which is just a label. It has a butterfly on it. And then the other one says a day to remember. And then the last one says dancing with your feet is one thing, but dancing with your heart is another. And then I'm skipping over that because the prompt for that week is weekly rituals, and I just need to think a little bit about what all of my rituals are. So I go on to the next day, and here I saw that at the bottom of the paper there's a ruler, and then in that die cut that I cut in half there's also some rulers, so I cut it in half so I could stack all the rulers together. And then the black die cut says every accomplishment starts with the decision to try, which I thought was fitting because the prompt for this day is DIYs I want to try. So what I wrote down is a bookshelf chair. I don't know if you've seen those, but they use pallets to make this big chair where the whole outside of the chair is bookshelves. Dreamcatcher headboard, ottoman Lego play center, palette herb garden, and some fairy gardens. I've done a few little fairy gardens for my daughter, but I'd like to make a big one maybe with a waterfall and stuff. And I can post the link to my Pinterest down below if you want to see. All of those are in my Pinterest, so if you're curious to know more information about any of those, let me know and I can direct you to them. This next page, again, I'm trying to use some of the washi, so I'm just going to make a little border around the edge, and then all of my writing can go inside. And the prompt for this day is things I love about myself. Oh, that's a tough one, isn't it? So I'm just going to use these two washi tapes to try and make a nice little square in the center. And I don't know if you've noticed throughout this video that I keep peeling off little strands. This washi seems like it's a little bit wider than the cardboard core, and so it wraps around the core, and when you're trying to peel it off, it doesn't peel off on the sides. Excuse me. So there's just like a little buildup of strands of washi. That's probably why it was at Winners for such a cheap price. But I do like the colors. And so here I found another one of these little die cuts, or the little cut aparts, and it says, "I was born original and that's the way I'm staying." And I really struggle with actually believing that, so I thought it was a good one for me to choose to put in here to kind of remind myself that I am original. So the things I love about myself that I wrote, I'm kind, I care, I work hard and try my best, I'm easygoing, I'm open-minded, I'm strong. And that does it for this week. So thanks so much for watching. I will have a flip through and some still shots up on my blog, and at the end of the next video when I'm completely done everything. So until then, happy scrapping! Bye!